So let's go ahead and open this up. And I was really debating whether or not to open a brand new figure for this. It's kind of a tough call, but I decided to go ahead and do it for this figure. So let's go ahead and look at this 2000X He-Man. Now, a couple things that's kind of cool about this figure is, one thing is at the very top of this logo is actually an awesome sticker. And in case you weren't sure that was an awesome sticker or not, it does tell you awesome sticker included, just so you make sure that you know it. It's an awesome one. So we are going to steal all of his weapons. We have his cool power sword that does twist in the center. For channeling the power of Grayskull. And then we have He-Man himself, which we're going to take his wrist cuffs and his loincloth and his armor. And I thought about using his head, but his head is just way too small to fit. I know it looks like it's close, but once you stick it next to a He-Man figure and try to Dremel it out, it's just too small to fit on there very, very well. Especially because the He-Man heads are actually bigger than the wrestling figures' heads. So we're going to go with the 2000X Snake Armor He-Man from Classics. Alright, so let's go ahead and, we're also going to take his battle axe too. So we got his cool battle axe. So I'm going to set always aside for right now. And let's get started on him. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get his loincloth free. So to get his loincloth free, and I know this is kind of scary, you are going to grab the figure by his upper part and his lower part, and you're going to take a lot of force and you're going to twist it away from you and snap it in half, just like that. Now you got yourself a two-part figure. Now, of course, it doesn't go back together, so once you do that, that's the end of it. Then you want to take off the loincloth. Do you want to go to my tools and get my blue scissors up on my computer monitor? I forgot to grab them. Okay, we got the loincloth off. Now we're going to take this loincloth and cut around here and then sand it afterwards. So to do that, I'm going to toss it in the hot water in a few minutes. But before that, let's get him ready, and we'll toss him in the hot water. We'll take off his armor, put his hands over his head, and now we'll toss him into our hot water. Just like that. You can see him sitting in there and soaking. So while that's sitting in there, let's go ahead and talk about preparing this figure for the next steps. So let's get him ready. Actually, one's like this, but they're purplish, I guess. Sorry about that. I forgot to grab a tool. So we're going to take off his elbow pads. We're going to take off his boots because we're going to use Man-at-Arms boots because they're the right shade of brown. Ugh. And now to get these knee pads off, thank you, we have to either, one, carefully work them away from here until you get them off, or you can pull the knee out too. Now to put these back on, I did pull the knee. Whenever you take off this part, remember that the smooth, bulgy side goes towards the inside and the lines goes towards the outside, because it's really hard to tell left from right. There's no way to identify. I'm just going to warm it up a little bit and then just slide them off. So I got them sitting in there.
And if that's an ultimate, then it's the definitive version of He-Man, so why didn't come with the 200X head and sword?
I don't know why it didn't come with the 2000X and sword. That would have been cool. But I guess they didn't want to spring for the extra cash. So we got what we got. But it is cool. It did come with extra heads, though. All right, so he is just about ready. I'm going to also pull his head off. Ugh. So get that ready. And let's see how he's doing. Now, when it comes to getting these wrist cuffs off, what you want to do is make sure the arms are nice and soft and rubbery. And when they're nice and soft and rubbery, you can now take a large pair of scissors. Let me throw the loincloth in there while we're doing this to heat that up as well. All right, we'll figure out what's going on in a minute. So now we'll take and cut off his arms. And when you cut this, you want to put his hand right in the little groove part right there, his arm, and then make sure that you're not going to cut the silver part at all. And once you have it all lined up, you're just going to take and slice his hand right off. Make sure you don't cut into his wrist cuff at all. Just like that. The other side's a little more tricky, because this one you have to make sure you don't accidentally cut into the cuff because it's shaped differently. And make sure you got enough extra skin on there to not damage the cuff at all. And there you go. And now you have a He-Man just like this. If you want, you can pull the head off too while you're at it because it's so hot. And you can use this if you want to for some other custom. While those are heating up, let's start doing the loincloth. So to do the loincloth, let me put the safety on these. We're going to take and carefully cut around this rubber to expose this bottom half down here. So let me go ahead and cut around here. Are there any other questions, Lise, coming up? No? Just carefully keep cutting. Kind of a little tedious chore here to get this just right. And basically we're just making like a giant belt for him that is shaped like his loincloth. Once we got that cut off, I'm now going to use a drum with sandpaper on it to finish it off. There it is. It's the same design and style, just a smaller one. I just got done doing Titus's one a little while ago, so I had a big one in my mind, but I guess these shorts are a lot smaller than Titus's. And your goal is to get all that extra rubber off all the way around and make it flat. Just about done. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now that I have this sanded, I'm just going to dip it in the water for a second to warm it up. And to clean off any debris that I had on there at the same time. And normally what I would do is if I was working with the classics, I would take and stretch this over their legs and everything else. But because we're working with Origins, I'm just going to pop it apart. And then just slide this right over the top. Oops. Sorry about that, you guys. Just like that. Now it's all lined up. And now I just pop them back together. Ta-da! I've already got our 2000X shorts. He is well on his way to being a 2000X He-Man. Alright, so let's go ahead and work on those cuffs. These are a little harder to do, but same principle. Let's get the hands out first. There's one. There's two. And now what you have to do is you have to sand these down and then route them out so it works. So what I first do is I like to use, let's see, which one I'm going to use today. Now, I like to use these right here to finish it up. And I have a link to these on the worksheet if you guys download the worksheet. It's number 953. I would suggest getting a 2-pack. It's cheaper that way. If you get a 1-pack, they charge you quite a bit more for some reason. Sometimes the 1-packs cost more than just the 2-pack by itself. I have no idea why they do that. Amazon's just crazy sometimes when it comes to the prices. And I'm going to take this drum. I'm going to take the larger one that I took earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and start to sand this. And all I'm trying to do is just get this sanded down just a little bit to have a starting point. so quite the mess now. Look at all the chunks of stuff we got everywhere. But there is our piece ready to go. Now I could sit here and do the other one as well, which I know is going to take a very long time, but I went ahead and already got the other one done before the video started, so you guys are stuck waiting for me to do both. So let me go ahead and toss them in the hot water. And you want to toss them in the hot water so they'll be very easily stretchable and flexible. We want to pull off his hands. Ugh.
Toys Galactic and Fun. Could you give me a shout out? Love your channel.
Oh, Toys Galactic? Hey, thanks for coming, Toys Galactic. Is that his name? Is that, does it say on there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go and grab Man-at-Arms boots while those cuffs are warming up. Ugh. They are really neat. Ugh. All right. And of course you want to use his head. I'm just going to heat it up a little bit so that it will fit on there well. Let's grab those arm cuffs out of the hot water. All right, you want to line these up with the elbow. So you slide them on, and they have to be nice and hot to get on there correctly. Otherwise, they will not slide on all the way. There we go.
How long do you let the head sit?
It only needs to sit for about a minute or two. Oh, I just can't get this one yet. It's not quite hot enough yet. Let's go ahead and pop this hand back in. So we got one side done. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty cool? We'll put that one back in the hot water while I get his head out. We'll pop his head on. Now the reason why you want to do the head is because Classics heads are a little bit tighter to fit on Origins. So you got to soak them for a while, otherwise they'll be really hard to get on there. Then we'll stick his armor on. While we're waiting for that last hand to heat up. There we go. Hooray. All right, he's almost done. One last arm and hand to go. Now the nice part is they have different ratchets on here to tighten it where you want, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Whatever figure they're going on, they would stay in the same place, but Mattel did that, so it makes it really easy for customizing. All right, let's see if this is hot enough yet. Oh, so close. Thank you. My wife brought me some fresh hot water. It's steaming. We'll just toss it in there for a second. See if we can get that heated right up. There we go. Much easier. Come on, He-Man. You can do it. I'm just trying to heat it up a little bit more. Ugh. Fit. So close. You want to make sure it's all the way up on his wrist, otherwise it will look really weird when you put his hand on there like he's wearing a sweatshirt that's too big for him. All right.
How with WWE Eternia, you can make your own Montu characters. I made a character from Rye Mastro and Faker John Cena, called Spectre, Evil Ghost Between Worlds.
There we go. There is my 2000X He-Man complete. And one final step was I actually swapped the hands with these two figures right here. Because of this one fist on this one side, I wanted an open hand for He-Man, so he could hold his shield in one side and put his sword or battle axe in the other side. So, there we go. There is my complete 2000X He-Man. Alright, you guys, thanks for joining. Make sure to check out the other classes so you can see some other things we do. And that's all I got. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you next video. Make sure to check out our online classes, which is where most of this video came from, is from our third class we had on using a Dremel tool to kit bash your figures. Alright, thanks. Talk to you next time.